So many of you don't know this, but I fell in love with video games because of shooters. I was a massive console shooter player, and I have some of my favorites. I wanted to share with you guys my top 5 shooters of all time, and I am going to be putting them in order from my least favorite to my most. Now, keep in mind, every single one on this list I love. You can't go wrong playing any of them, and you can still play every single one of them today. So let's dive into my top 5 shooters of all time. The first game on my list today is Battlefield Bad Company 2. Of all the games that I'm sharing with you today, this is my number 5, but it's also the most realistic game of everything that we've seen here. Inside of Bad Company 2, you're going to be playing as a particular class. Each of these classes has a certain role, and when you play with a team, your role can be very important. Maybe you're in charge of medical supplies, or maybe you're in charge of ammunition. Either way, you're going to want to be playing your favorite class with the weapons that you can only get for that class. And when you listen in on the gameplay and when you actually see what things look like, it looks very realistic, like an actual battlefield would look like in the real world. Now, of course, we're looking at a video game here, but this is probably the best type of game for real life style combat. The hits that you take, they do a bit more damage than some of the other titles, and the combat and the actual way things looks a little bit more realistic. I absolutely love the game and have spent hundreds of hours playing this one, and it had to be on my list as number 5. Next game on today's list is Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and I know many people would have probably put this game more towards the number 1, being that Black Ops 2 is one of the most favorite Call of Duty games of all time. But it wasn't actually for me. That's a little teaser there for you. This game, though, I have spent probably thousands of hours playing, and it was actually incredible. I like the fast pace of Call of Duty games versus the slower pace of the Battlefield games. This is a run and gun, each man for themselves type of thing. No matter what game mode you're playing, we all know we're out there trying to get kills. The customization that you have with the weapons inside of this game is incredible. It was some of the best of its kind, and the maps are just so fast and enjoyable, where you just kind of memorize every single part of the map. Call of Duty is one of the best ever. It's one of the longest lasting franchises ever as well, and you really can't go wrong saying that any of the games were good or bad. They were all fantastic. Yeah, even Ghosts. I know, it's like the one that I played the least of, but it was still a really good game at that. Call of Duty is full of tech, it's full of customization, it's great fun, it's fast, and Black Ops 2 is one that you just can't go wrong playing, and I love that it's still alive today. Plus, the shotguns in this game are pretty OP. They're a lot of fun. Just mess with people. People don't like getting killed with the shotguns. Next up, we have Halo 3, and let me tell you, along with many other fans inside of this world, this has been one of the games that will always be a memory inside of my brain. I remember having time off from work over the summer back when I was a teacher and spending every single day having my time inside of Halo 3. Whether it was using the sniper rifle, trying to be as good as I could be, or doing shoddy snipers, or just using that battle rifle, it was always a great time. Halo 3 is probably the best Halo in my opinion. A lot of people might say it was Halo 2, but for me, Halo 3 really caught me, whether it was the different types of gameplay modes that you had, just how fun it was to play with friends, or the vehicles that you could ride around in. The maps are also incredible. Halo is just different from everything else. It's not my number 1, but I'll tell you what, my top 3 are very, very close. I played tons of hours in all of them. Maybe that's because I wasn't as good in Halo 3 as I was in some of the upcoming games that I'm just about to mention. But let me know down below, were you a Halo player? Or were you an Xbox player? And if you were, was Halo 3, was it your jam? So let me know in the comments section below, what's your favorite shooting game ever? And you know what, even beyond that, what's your favorite game that you've ever played in your entire life? Maybe I'll feature it in an upcoming video. All right, guys, so now we're going back in the day, even a little bit more, with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Thousands of hours I've spent playing this game. The UMP, the FAMAS, you got the sniper rifles, the intervention inside of the game, so many weapons that you just remember and will remember forever. The ACR is just another one. This game was the best Call of Duty, in my opinion, by a mile. I could pick up this game today and play it for hours every single day and be completely addicted. And actually, just making this video right here is making me want to dive back into the game. It gives you all of your classic game modes that we all know and love from any Call of Duty, but this was one of the first ones that did it so right. Now, Modern Warfare 1 was also a fantastic game, but it never really took off for me until Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. As I mentioned about the previous Call of Duty game, the sniper rifles and the shotguns inside of this game were just so much fun to play with. So many different game modes as well, but you know, I was always playing Team Deathmatch. Sometimes free-for-all, but it was all about Team Deathmatch for me. This was not about objective-based gameplay. This was about running out there, being better than your opponent, and getting those shots in before they did, then calling in your chopper gunner and calling it GG for your nuke. Now, no, I didn't get a ton of nukes, but a lot of people did, and that was like a highlight of YouTubers' careers being the ones that were dropping in the nukes. I didn't do YouTube back then, unfortunately. But man, Modern Warfare 2 is absolutely amazing. You could tell that it's an older game. When you look at the graphics, everything looks a little bit dulled down. Nothing is really bright, and it looks kind of the colors of what a war zone would actually look like. There's nothing that's too bright and vibrant, kind of like Battlefield, but it definitely has the faker looking graphics than Battlefield. And I'll tell you what, they both came out at the same time, but this is the one that just drew me in, and I just continuously played over and over and kept queuing up into more matches. So much fun. I know you guys are with me. And the last game for me today, my #1 of all time, is the game that got me back into video games from when I was a kid, and this one is Gears of War. And no, I'm not talking about the older ones. I'm talking about the classic Gears of War 1. Give me the boom shot, give me the Nosher shotgun, and I'm gonna go to town having a great time. This game I had spent every Friday and Saturday night. I spent approximately 6 hours with friends playing until 4 in the morning and just loving the gameplay. This game had really, it brought a new light to what multiplayer shooters could look like. And fun fact here, Gears of War 1, when it launched, it wasn't even really made with a multiplayer mode. The multiplayer mode was kind of slapped together at the last minute, and it was just thrown together as an afterthought of the game. Now, being an afterthought, that was the best part of the game. And yes, the campaign was fantastic. Everyone loves that whole Locust / COG battles that you would have, but the multiplayer is what brought people back. And I feel that even though it got more robust and more was involved in Gears of War 2 and so on, it never quite made the same impact on me as it did in Gears of War 1. I've spent 5,000 to 10,000 hours playing this game. Is that right? Is my math off? I played it more than any game I've ever played in my life. And I would go back today, know every single map, still know how to use the weapons, knock out all of my reloads, and have a great time playing again. And I would love to get that same group of friends together. Man, that was a good time. If you guys made it to this point in the video, thank you. I appreciate you, and consider subscribing for daily videos sharing with you guys the best games that you could play right now.